That's wifey?
You're good, man.
Yeah, that's your wife.
Tell her to come in and say hi. Let the world see it real quick if you want to. I know.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? This is Bill Forster, Real Talk Chronicles. And today, I have a legend in the building. The coolest legend of them all, to be honest with you. And we have his lovely wife. And my lovely wife is going to say hi because we asked about you. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good. It's good to see you. We were talking up a storm about you before.
Oh, okay.
They were having ladies talk. You know, they was talking about what you, the teas and everything that you're doing and all that beautiful stuff. Because, you know, it's you ladies that keep us healthy, too.
Yes.
So you know,
Yes.
thank you for keeping my man safe. And I'm thanking my wife for definitely keeping us safe.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
been good?
Yes.
Good. And, you know, while you're there, I'm just going to ask you, so I can do this quick before Red and I really get into it. You know, of course, this whole coronavirus thing has just been a pandemic and destroying everything. Hopefully you two have not been affected by this, because I'm sure popularity, for Red, especially myself, and I know Red more than me, we've lost so many people. Popularity has almost become a curse. And I'm sure as you as his wife, and just as Malika is mine, you meet people and countless friends, acquaintances, and this is what happens. So, I mean, I hope it has it hit home to you guys, or nothing really personal?
Yeah, it has hit home. Well, first of all, I work in a hospital, as you know.
Right.
So, you know, to emotionally, you know, some family, yes, but we have recovered well from it, you know, and, you know, we take it in stride and pray a lot and, you know, try to keep support each other. I think that's the most important thing, make people feel like they're not alone. And, you know, my god sister had it and I was taking care of her and everything. And, you know, it's just the support, because sometimes, you know, when you have such as a thing as such as when they say cancer or corona, you start thinking about dying and people start becoming afraid.
Right.
And, you know, when you let people know that you can beat this, it's okay, we have your back, we're here for you, and just give them the support that they need, makes them feel a lot more comfortable.
Right.
You know, and knowing that they can get through it, you know, and you know, that old saying, this too shall pass.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one thing that Malika and I, we do a lot of praying, and you have to pray now. And, you know, you have to find your higher power, whatever it is, because right now, you know, we're at ages, we're still young and looking good, but we're still at ages. Some of us have pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
Things right now, all of a sudden, and you, like you said, you work in a hospital, you see how it's affected the people of color.
Yes.
It ran right through us, a lot of us. So
yes,
it's a beautiful thing that you and as Red and Malika were talking, say goodbye before you go, and man the real talk phones. How you two have been, you know, doing a lot of health things for both of us, because I'm sure Red and I, or just men in general, we can be a little lackadaisical with how we take care of ourselves. But I'm like you in the health field, and Malika's definitely, like her and Red were just talking about it, are into teas and herbs and stuff. And he said, Sandra got all that stuff in the house.
Yes. He was so sick of me. He was like, oh my gosh, Sandra. I was like, yo, we got to try this. We got to do this. We got to keep goggling. We can't, you know, he was like, oh my God.
Look at Red shaking.
Yes.
I mean, you know, let's take a laxative every 2 weeks.
Oh, flush us out. Get us all, keep us empty, right?
Yes.
Flush it out.
Definitely. Flush it out. I was like, the devil is a liar.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, is the beautiful thing. And Ed and I would definitely get into that conversation. But, you know, this might be the new world order. This might be the way we all get together. You know, the last time we were together, we was for Chris's birthday, but that might not happen again. I mean, you know, practicing social distancing.
Yes,
I mean,
it's so true. I was telling Red, I was like, you know, this right here, as far as being married, you know, Red and I have been together, like, I just say 25 years, 30 years, blah, blah, blah.
It's near,
but this is really, especially for the young couples, It's going to make you or it's going to break you.
Absolutely.
It's going to find out, you're going to find out which your likes and your dislikes, what you can tolerate, what you can't tolerate, your good habits and your bad habits. And I tell, people start saying, how do you manage being married for so long?
Right.
Something you have to learn how to deal with habits, give up things, sacrifice. And if you're not ready, if you're not I'm not going to say ready, if you're not mature enough.
Yes.
Because maturity is so, so important to be able to say, okay, I can deal with that. You know, it's okay because we as people, we are our character. It's who we are.
Absolutely.
And if you cannot deal with someone's character, then please walk away.
Yeah.
Because character stays with you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And it's okay to say, you know what? I love you, but I can't do you.
Right.
You know?
So
and
funny, the beautiful thing about being married at our age is knowing and knowing who we are, because the bottom line is Red may come in and work for a gig. You might be already in bed. He might not want to disturb you. He might go into the other room, his man cave. You get up early in the morning. I mean, the one thing about that, I think when you're young and you're like 20, you got to be together all the time. At this stage in careers, we have to understand, well, sometimes we need a little break, a woosah time, because we are who we are at a certain age.
Exactly.
You agree with that?
I agree.
It's always good to have something to look forward to. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because the bottom line is like we always have a joke. I love horror movies. Malika doesn't like horror movies. So, when the horror movies come on, I'll be like, she's like, all right. She's like, I'll see you. You stay over there and you do you. I'll be like, all right.
I'm the same way. I don't tolerate the horror movies. I'm like, no, that's I'm going.
Sometimes I still like to see somebody fall down the hill 17 times as he walks slow and get caught at the bottom.
This is nuts.
Well, we're going to get on with this interview.
It's nice seeing you. I have a meeting too, so it's nice seeing you guys. We'll talk
and we will do this later on, coming up, just the four of us or anybody else, other the couples,
Yes, that'll be fun. That'll be so much fun.
That
That's
means
what's up.
stay.
To be exactly. See you later, sis. Well, like I was saying, everybody out there, today on Real Talk Chronicles, I have a legend. I have a brother. I have a friend that when I delved into the music business, took me under his wing to a certain degree. He treated me like I was already there. And this is one of the reasons when I asked him about doing this interview, which he doesn't do a lot of, which I'm so happy that he decided to do this with me, is because I wanted to give him his flowers, his blessings, his accolades. Not when he's sick, not when he's retired and long gone and nobody knows where Red Alert is. I wanted to give it to him right now. This will be forever. Hopefully, when they do documentaries on Red Alert, the Violators, the Native Tongues, just hip hop, maybe they'll show a clip out of this. And I can say I was only blessed to interview my brother and my friend. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce the coolest legend, Mr. Cool DJ Red Alert. And I'm for you for a minute because as a player, a central employee, you out there playing music for people every day. I appreciate you because I'm sure it's a musical blessing for people to ride home and listen to during these tough times. So thank you, Red. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, appreciate being here, man. Everything all good. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. What we got to talk about?
We're going to talk about everything. So first and foremost, did you ever think you were going to be a DJ?
How can I put it? At an early, before 19, no.
Okay.
Before 19, no, my heart was into basketball.
Right.
I used to love playing basketball,
Okay.
That was my thing. And coming up under my brother, I'm proud to say that he's one of the, now, let me put it in the right perspective. He actually is my cousin.
Okay, right.
He is my mother's sister's son. But by him, along with, rest in peace, my sister, and I, all three of us grew up together being raised by our grandparents. So when you're in the household, ever since you were from a child, you don't look at them as cousins.
Because it's family. We all in the same house. Yeah.
I look at him as my brother. I still call him my brother to this day.
That's what's up. That's what's
So, no, my brother, who everybody know him as Ernie Morris, aka Ernesto.
Yes.
Is one of the members of the record committee.
Okay.
He came up right along with Bob McCullough, Fred Crawford. I mean, the list is going under Mr.
Yes.
Rucker.
Yes.
And
yes.
after the passing of Mr. Rucker, you know,
Yeah, rest in peace. Yes.
along with the rest of them, carry on the tradition of the record. So I used
Yes.
to always be around him all the time. That's what it is. And may I say that a lot of people didn't know.
A lot of people didn't know you had some ball. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, the actual place where the last stop of the record, which is now where the EBC is at,
Yes.
155th Street, that used to be the playground for me of my school. The building right next to the playground,
Yeah.
Richard Rucker,
Yes.
that was a school.
Okay, and is that where you went to school too?
Went to school, PS 156.
Okay, so see, we're gonna get all the history tonight. This is what Real Talk is about. And if you like what you're listening to, everybody out there, go under the video, either Red's page or my page, and push share and let everybody know. And in a few days, this will be on YouTube. So, okay, so Red used to play ball. All right. You went to Clinton, right?
Went to do with Clinton.
Clinton, all right. Clinton was known. So how did you, because you were a Harlemite, right? How did you end up in the Bronx?
Well, no, I went to IS-10.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass, IS-10. Right after that, you know, during that time, you know how it is when you fill out for 3 choices. I put Clinton. That's what I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to Clinton.
And let me tell you something, back in the day, Clinton was known for handling their business, and they known for football, because I hadn't even thought about going to Clinton to play football. So they're definitely about their business. So let's start. Okay, you're playing ball, you're doing your thing, because you and I talked about this a lot. So you had game. Was there a point where you thought you were kind of maybe being able to play college ball, or how good do you think you were? Because I always tease people. I said, I know I played ball, and most of the people know me for ball, but I graduated the year to guard. Marv Jackson, Kenny Smith, Pearl Washington, all kind of guys. I shout out to Ernie Myers. He's in the building. Ernie was a legend in Talentine, a college and high school basketball. So I say all that to say, the competition was steep. So I'm sure back in your day too, the competition was steep. So
oh man, a lot of competition.
A lot of competition, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, tell me about, did you have visions of going to the NBA playing college ball, or when did that go to the left?
Well, here it is, you know, growing up in the project and being amongst my peers and my friends, you know, we was all playing, and I didn't make it on the team that they had in the projects. I grew up in Colonial House, right behind the pole grounds. You know, grew up there for like 15 years. You know, like I said, come up there under behalf of my grandparents.
Yes.
And here it is. My brother had set me up to be with this team called Boys of Yesteryear.
Okay.
Under the behalf of, rest in peace, Mr. Ali Edinburgh.
All right.
And at the time when I got down with that team, you know, you had some known players, rest in peace, my man Booby Eldridge. Who else? My man Mike Green.
Mike Green from Black and Gold?
Johnson, huh?
Mike, you're not talking about Mike Green from Black and Gold, right?
No. But he was known for playing ball.
I know. Shout out to Mike Green.
Yeah. So there was another Mike Green. And Donald O'Neal, rest in peace. It was part of that. But you know, here it is. I was just hanging in there, but I never got a chance to excel, but I still love to play ball.
Okay.
So,
first time, how did you get in first turntables? Where did they come from? Who turned you on to them?
Well, now I just mentioned about my brother influenced me to play basketball. He also influenced me through music. So if I wasn't up in the closet pulling out one of his basketballs, I was always in his record collection. And at that time in the household, he was known for buying all different type of records.
Mm-hmm.
We had R&B, we had soul, we had jazz, we had Caribbean.
Okay.
Because my grandparents is from Antigua.
Okay. Respect.
So we had Caribbean there, as well we had Latin music, like Ray Barretto and Joe Cuba and them. So I was very intrigued with that. So when here it is, I started going up to Clinton, and I started being around a whole different set of people,
Okay.
and being aware of what's going on. Mind you, when I was in Clinton, I was up there during the gang era.
Yes, yes.
And Clinton was all boys.
Okay, yes.
Imagine going up there, all boy high school in the gang era. It must have been maybe about a dozen gangs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was always being aware of what was going on and got to learn a lot. And you learn a whole lot when you leave the project, And I come across learning more about different places where they were playing music. The first place I experienced, not far from where Clinton was at, a little further down, a couple train stations down, was Lehman High School.
Okay.
Right next to Walton High School.
Mm-hmm.
So when we was able to go in the cafeteria at Lehman High School, I saw a person playing music in there, Djing.
Okay.
Okay. Then I started learning about the different places to go and hear it. So we were sneaking downtown to the discos at that time.
Oh, all right.
Now here it is, underage, about 18, 19,
right.
18 more. No, we were sneaking into clubs where, I'm putting on my brother's clothes, trying to look
trying to look grown.
And during that time, I was getting in there. I wasn't into the girls. I wasn't into the dancing. I wasn't into drinking. I was just standing and watch the DJ. Okay. That's all I did, watch the DJ.
So you kind of got fascinated with it because, like you said, your cousin, who you call your brother, your brother, he got you into the lane, and then you started going to the clubs and you started getting a little fascinated with it. So when you finally get behind the turntables, tell us about when was that first day when Red got behind the turntables and was like, I'm ready to do this.
During that same time, a little later on, there used to be a program, I don't know if you ever heard of it, called the Upward Bound program.
Okay. Right.
Upward Bound program was a program that, you live on college campus during the summertime in your junior and senior year at high school, preparing yourself for college.
Okay.
So I went to Upward Bound program at Fordham University.
Okay. All right.
And there was a partner of mine named Roosevelt Smith. Him and I, we had our stereos in there. But what we did, we hooked them up together and made it sound like one big thing.
Yes.
So here it is. What we did, you plug in the phono in the auxiliary, you plug in the other turntable.
Yes.
We hooked up all four speakers, and we had the dorms rocking.
That was rocking.
And what it is that, at that time, there's no such thing I knew about a mixer. We was just clicking from phono to auxiliary. So here it is. They asked me to do one time in the lunchroom at Fordham University during the Upward Bound. I did a party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what I did. Click, click.
So let me ask you a question. Now, that time were you nervous? Because now you got people in there, all eyes on you. I know, like you already said, you had an infatuation with it, a desire to kind of get into it. So now you're in there, click, click. And what was the energy like when you first did it? Were people like, okay, or were they were just like, what, stop and stay, or they started dancing to you?
The reason I was nervous because I want to make sure I play the right set of music.
Right.
You want to know because you want to make sure that, after they jam into one record and then you click to the other, if they go continue, or they be like, and they'll let you know.
Yeah.
That was I'm nervous about, but I kept going, even though I may have messed up a couple times, but I learned to continue. I did not let it defeat me.
Right. You know what's so funny that you said that, but maybe you might messed up a couple of times and you didn't let it defeat you. I had Reggie Wells on, and it was so funny how he was talking about, shout out to Reggie, he was talking about how when he first started DJing, he didn't even have turntables. He didn't, you know, Reg, he didn't have turntables for a long time in his career. But and he said he really wasn't even a good DJ at first. You know what I'm saying? When did you feel like you were able to move the crowd to where you was like, wait a minute, okay, I'm not just clicking and clacking, but I know what I'm doing?
Well, right after I left her, and I went to school. I went away to school, and you know, I took a communication engineering.
Okay.
You know, as I took up that course, and I got my 3rd class license for work. Now, also, I forgot to leave out, same time when I was sneaking downtown to the discos, and I forgot to mention names of people who I was sneaking down to see. P.J. Jones.
Okay. All right.
Rest in peace, Grandmaster Flowers.
Okay.
DJ Charisma. DJ Plummer, the Together Brothers. You know, I was checking them out, and the clubs I was going downtown to was like Nell Gwynn's, Hotel Diplomat, the Riverboat. One time I went into Pippin's. I could never get into Leviticus.
Remember Pippin's? Wow, back when you mentioned Pippin's, yeah, man.
Pippin's on 54th. I never can get into Leviticus. But then here it is, while I was going down there and going to Clinton, everybody kept on talking about this one guy named Herc.
Okay.
So here it is, me and my man Michael Jordan and my man Junie Collins for the first time went to go and check out Cool Herc. And he was at this spot that was right off the under the Jerome Avenue, around 173rd, 174th Street.
Okay.
And when we went there, you know, that's where I got to see him for the first time. And it's a difference of the style and the music I was hearing, going and sneaking downtown to hear the disco and the R&B, and then coming up and hearing a different way how and what he played with the sounds and how people was responding to him. So that's where it made me gel back and forth. So now here it is. After I told you I went to school and I come back, here go the next wave of people. Here go, before it was Grandmaster Flash.
Yes.
You had rest in peace AJ. You had a guy named Smokey, who I don't feel don't never get his just due. Smokey and Smokatrons. Who else? You had the Elbow Brothers, where Theodore come from, as you know, the Elbow of Livingston. Well, he's the youngest. And you know, I was always up in the Bronx. People thought I was from the Bronx.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
No.
Now let me say with the Bronx. And you mentioned earlier, shout out to my brother N.W. Lewis, my martial arts brother. He brought up the thing when we were talking about the gangs. And we talking about the Savage, you know, the Black Skulls and you know, Savage Nomads, and there's gangs all over. And then, you know, shout out to Zulu Nation, right? So it's just I know personally, you have always been even keeled. You and I've talked about it. You've never been a real rah-rah person. You know, you've let your name kind of transcend who you are more than you out there being flamboyant or coming in the club trying to do that. How are you able to posture yourself through the gangs and just be, and like you said, you're a Harlemite and you're up there in the Bronx. We want to get back into that music, but just tell me how that was. Like, how did you just gravitate to the right people, or the people just like Red, or you already at the time, or was it ball?
No, I'm gonna be honest, because growing up in Colonial, and you know, at that time, you know, being amongst my peers and everybody my age a little older than me, I wasn't really the type that was, how can you say, much accepted to the crowd.
Okay.
They looked at me like, well, who's this little funny looking little redhead guy, you know, and they always, you know, clown you, snap. The only person who I was very close to is my friend that to this day, me and him was like brothers, you know, and that's my man Lamont. Respect to my man Lamont. Because they used to always messing with him too. So But at the same token of time, I saw I was not being accepted, but I'm looking at my elders in my family, because not only my brother, who was recognized, known as one of the members under Mr. Rucker, but I'm also looking at, rest in peace, my aunt, who was, I learned, was one of the first Black opera singers in Carnegie Hall.
Oh, wow.
So when I learned the statue that they both had, how they continue to carry themselves, and then, you know, you being under your grandparents from the West Indies, you know,
they official.
Everybody know about West Indies. They got it. The tradition is like they check you.
Yeah. They ain't playing that.
Yeah, so I think it's my upbringing being amongst that and seeing what is going on. I really started to become more into my own once I left the project. And that's why I say, once I went up in the Bronx and started coming across new people, new friends and everything, and being accepted and being embraced, that's when I start to learn myself more and more.
Awesome. So now, give me around the age group. You're DJing now. People know, I don't know, that, well, matter of fact, we know how you got the name, but who gave you the name? Where did Red Alert come from?
I got the name from playing basketball, because once again, when I left the project, I started hanging up on the Grand Concourse around 100, further down from 149, because there was a young lady, as you see over there, that was in that block. And even though her and her family moved off, I got cool with everybody on that block, and I made friends with everybody on there. So we used to always play basketball up there, you know, according to maybe my playing and everything. My man Dennis, he the one that gave me the nickname Red Alert, Red Alert. You know?
Okay, all right.
So when I started getting into DJing, I used that name.
It just stayed with you, right?
Uh-huh.
So tell me the first gig, if you remember, where you really, I mean, you're already a DJ, you're doing Fordham University. When did you get to the jam or the party where you were like, okay, like I'm making money from this now?
First time I got to make $50 when I left the project and moved back downtown.
Okay.
You know, because I'm originally from downtown. I'm originally from 111th Street.
Yes, exactly.
I moved up to the project when I was 5 years old. A lot of people didn't know that. And then after 15 years, come back downtown. That time now, here it is. I'm staying where my godparents used to have. And then my parents took over. So here it is. As I started making friends, there's a young lady that had asked me to do a party because she heard I was becoming a DJ. Okay. So I went in 116th Street between Lenox and 7th.
Yes.
It was like a little hall, and they asked me to pay you $50.
Wow.
At the same time, I was also DJing for my man, who I was best man at his wedding, my man Tyrone Mercado. He from the Bronx. He from Gun Hill Projects.
Okay.
Right behind Gun Hill Projects is a church. And right at that church, that's where we got married. And then I forgot where we had the reception. And I DJ for him at that time too.
Okay. So now you downtown, you DJ, you got a gig. Uptown, you got a gig. Now, we know this business. One person hears you. I'm assuming they're like, hey, can I hire you for a gig? Where did the okay, let's see, when did the notoriety how did it really start coming after that? Like, all right, Red Alert, I think that's, it was a name that fit, of course, because of red hair. Now you're DJing in Harlem, you're DJing in the Bronx. But how did you get so, I guess, where people might have not, who don't really know you, thought you were from the blocks, DJing with the groups and the, I guess. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I used to hang on the Grand Concourse, so I know that me right along with somebody you know very well, my man Bruce Moore. Bruce used to DJ.
Right.
So him and I, we DJ in that park, because, you know, Bruce is from up on the concourse too.
Yes.
Also was known for playing ball just as well.
All right.
Yeah, he was nice.
Oh.
So when he was we both played in that park. So I started getting my name around the block amongst people I made friends with. And every time we was traveling around, you know, I was saying, watching this, watching that, and then I'm connecting with people and they find out I DJ. I say, cool. Matter of fact, my man Sydney, I remember I DJ for Sydney's sister birthday party. And I'm gonna give you this one right real quick. I know I'm jumping the gun, but I'm gonna let you about
Oh,
this.
stay. It's your, go ahead, brother. It's all about.
She asked me to DJ. So when she asked me to DJ, somebody came walking in with crates in their hands. And they was hanging on to the handle. And once they came in, they saw me DJ, they dropped the crate and said, yo, what is this? And then they approached me, but they approached Sydney's sister.
Yeah.
So then here it is. He said, okay, so I could see he look upset and he picked up his crates and he moved on. I got to found out later on that person that was upset that dropped his crates was Flash.
Wow.
So Flash never knew me for DJing.
No? How did he know you?
In the beginning, I first met Flash because when I used to hang up on the Bronx off of Longwood Avenue and Hewitt Place, my man Sid from that block. Also guys from Clinton, they had a band.
Okay.
So I used to always hang with them in the basement while they was practicing.
Right.
I came over with a big cone speaker, was trying to see where they can get it fixed. So when they try and get it fixed, and they left, I said, who's that? They said, that's Flash. And that's the first time I ever noticed him. I didn't know him yet. I just noticed that was the first time. And then I got to hear more about him. But I think we got to recognize from that time I did my man's sister's birthday party.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. Flash and the Furious Five and all those, are these guys already a little more established than you?
No, they wasn't established yet because I remember Flash started out with one MC, rest in peace, Cowboy.
Okay, Cowboy, yes.
And I got to see them for the first time between them two. There was a little basement down, right? It was off of Gun Hill, or off of Hunts Point, and Galveston Avenue. Around the corner, there was a taxi. You catch a taxi.
Taxi stand, yeah, sure, of course.
Downstairs was the basement. I went down there, and that's when I got to hear him play for the first time.
Okay.
And then I started learning about him and many others. Meanwhile, I'm still practicing. People heard of me, but they never saw me play. But I'm making friends with everybody.
Right.
Until, who is it that really helped give me my break was my cousin.
All right, talk about him. Tell us about him.
So when my cousin got to find out that I started DJing, he used to always come down to the house. When he come down to the house, he wanted me to show him. So now at that time, and this is where I used to have my bedroom all set up. I used to take the frame out from the bed and have the mattress, spring mattress and everything on the floor.
Really?
Yeah, and then right across from me in front of the bed, I had 3 milk crates upside down. On top of the milk crates was my turntables and my mixer. On the side of my bed was all milk crates of records. So here it is, he come in, he sit on the bed, and I show him the fundamentals. And then what I do, I lay back and let him practice. At that time, he used to live with my family, the rest of the family. They used to live up on Amsterdam around 151st Street.
Okay, all right.
In the battleground.
Right.
They moved to the Bronx. When they moved to the Bronx, my aunt brought my cousin his first set, turntable. So he started.
Hold on, Red. How much were turntables going for back then and stuff like that?
Well, I know he got the cheaper ones. The first turntables I bought was Technique 1800s, of course. Okay. They was there, and that time they was $139 a piece. I didn't get the 1200s. I got 1800s. Okay. But the turntables that my aunt got my cousin, they was Techniques SL 210s, and that was belt drive. Okay. It was $69. Wow. Back then, that was a lot of money now. Yeah, $69, So he got that, and then he started packing. Then he made friends with people, and they put him on to a guy who was from Soundview named Disco King Mario. Okay. Well, here it is. He started playing for Mario. Now, I don't know what was the arrangement between him and Mario and his friend. Meanwhile, at that time, across from Disco King Mario and Soundview, in Bronx River is Bambaataa.
Okay.
At one point in time, they was, quote unquote, I heard they was rivals.
Okay.
They was always playing this junior high school 123.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know how it was in some schools that in the gym they had a divider?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what it was, every time when Mario and Bam played, they pulled the divider where Mario on one side, Bam is on the other side.
Wow.
So I think more and more that Bam got to hear much about my cousin playing.
Okay.
So they said, well, who this kid that is down with him? Somebody said, well, that's the kid that just moving in the project. Well,
Yes.
Bam said, what are he doing over there? He's supposed to be with us.
So that's how you got on the Bam side.
So that's how he wound up coming over, getting down with Bam. Bam had two DJs before my cousin. Yeah, Zombu, he also had Sinbad. Zombu, I knew more.
Okay.
But here it is. When one left, they had Jazzy come. So now the other was about to leave. So that's when he said to Bam, yo, can you put my cousin on? Can you put my cousin on?
Oh.
And that's when I came in for the 4th Zulu Nation anniversary, 1979.
Right.
Everybody, my cousin, the original DJ Jazzy J.
Okay. Respect to Jazzy. Respect to Zulu Nation. So now you're playing for Zulu Nation. Jazzy is your cousin. You're rocking. You're doing your thing. How does this transition into radio? And then we're going to get back to hip hop. So how does Red Alert slide into now radio? Okay,
I'm gonna keep it to you real.
All
Even
the
though I
time.
got down with Bam, and Bam used to be, it was a bunch of them because it used to be us three plus other DJs he had like Islam, Ram Mixer DST, and many others. Rest in peace, Wizkid.
Mm-hmm.
And he had mad MC. He had like 10 MCs.
Mm.
But at that time, I wasn't up to par in my playing ability. And my cousin Jazzy got so good, I mean, real good.
He was doing his thing. Okay, he was doing his thing. He was fire.
And I was amazed at my cousin, where I wind up being like the record boy to him, passing him the records.
Okay, okay.
Because I'm excited watching my cousin, you know? So sometimes I used to probably get run on it like maybe the last 40 minutes of the night or, you know, whatever it is. But I just 100 there. So now when we leaving from the Bronx, because we was moving outside of, we were going to Connecticut, Long Island, upstate now. But now here we coming downtown. And we coming downtown to various places in like the Village area or Lower Manhattan and playing these different spots. It was like the same time that was hip hop meet new wave punk rock. So we was in there in the trenches with different people and a new sound.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Bam had started creating, separating into different groups.
Okay.
You know, of course, the whole entire group was So Sonic Force. But
all right. So that was the pyramid, and everybody kept on falling under that, right?
Yeah, but on the side, my cousin Jazzy and I, we had a group called the Jazzy 3.
Okay.
Which became later on the Jazzy 5.
All right.
Members of that, of the Jazzy, was also part of So Sonic. Also, there was another set of people who are Zulus that was down. They're from Throsneck.
Okay.
They the ones called the Cosmic Force. That's Ike C.
Yes, Ike.
Ike C, my man.
Shout out to Ike, yes.
And Chubb. And who got down with them was Lisa Lee.
Okay.
She was like the first lady for all of us. So they the one that made the first recording for Zulu Nation called Zulu Throwdown.
Okay.
And that was like 1980. And then here it is, the next set was Jazzy 5. They made a record called Jazzy Sensation. Now, during that time that's all going on, we coming downtown, we in the trenches of what's going on, where we wind up going to the Roxy after, you know, we leaving from Club the Grill to Danceteria. From Danceteria, now we in the Roxy. Now, when we in the Roxy, here come the record Planet Rock. Planet Rock.
It's Planet Rock now. Their Planet Rock is out now.
Bam pulled out 3 MCs out of everybody. That was Biggs, Pow Wow, and Globe.
Okay.
Made Planet Rock.
Wow.
That record opened the door for all of us. Because, you know, that was a game changer at that time when they came out with that record. Because that was a whole brand new sound that nobody never heard before.
Yes.
So now people paying attention more towards us.
Okay.
Pay attention more than anybody else was a guy by the name of Barry Mayo.
Shout out to Barry Mayo. Yes, respect.
Barry Mayo came down at that time. He was in the Roxy, and we used to pack the Roxy. We used to average maybe about 3,500 people in there every Friday.
Yeah, that's when the Roxy was the Roxy. Yes.
At that time, we had all different walks of life in there, all different nationalities, and you know they all have something in common: enjoying the sounds, enjoying the music. So there it is. Barry Mayo would come down. He seen what's going on because he probably hearing so much. So he approached Bam. He said, "Yo, we want to incorporate what y'all doing along what we doing because we have the thing called Kiss Master Mixes."
Okay.
The first person they went after was Africa Islam. But Africa Islam was like top dog in the Roxy, making it happen, doing his thing.
He was getting money. He wasn't ready to leave. Right.
Yeah, he was top, but he was also doing a lot of things on the outside of that too. And me and him, we had a show on. Well, it really was his show. He put me on with it. That was on WHBI 105.9. It was a show called Zulu Beats.
Okay.
So I was with him at that time. And everybody knows where HBI used to be. It used to be on 80th Street, 80 Riverside Drive on 80th Street in the basement.
That's what's up.
And that's where we used to be in there every, I think, Wednesday late night coming on. Right after Gil Belly. Rest in peace, Gil Belly. But, you know, moving forward, so when they came into Islam, he missed the appointment. So who they went after next was Jazzy. So Jazzy did it for like two months, you know? He was doing this thing, making it happen, and he was gaining a lot of recognition. Mind you, they wasn't paying no money. They wasn't paying money, but you getting a lot of exposure, and the exposure got him like gigs, parties, and also studio work. Then he let that go. So that's when they went after me. And that was October 1983.
1983. Bless your heart. Hold on for a sec. You got so many shout outs. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We have the coolest legend in the building. And I say legendary because I always tell him that has to go before his name. And I'm so glad that he is the coolest legend. You have people shouting out, I think Ralph Woods, E-Papers, so many other people. Who are you after this? When this is all over and you get time, go back and look and chime in and say hi to all the people that are looking at you and talking about you. Mike Green from Black and Gold, shout out to those people. So now, he brings you into the radio station. When do you get down to actually do these master mixes?
Well, here it is. I started in 1983, and what it was, you had to submit a tape in.
Okay.
Even though I couldn't afford a reel-to-reel because everything used to be recorded on reel-to-reel.
Right.
I used to record my show on cassette. And then they'll take the cassette and pass it to Tony Humphrey where he'll transfer it to reel-to-reel, and they'll play it until I save up my own money and I got my own. Rest in peace to my man, what's his name? Al G from Bronx River, because he was working down there and Sam Ash, and he hooked me up with a good deal for a reel-to-reel.
Okay. Real
good deal. So when I got my reel-to-reel, I continued doing that. So that's how I was rolling like that for the first 3 years. Okay. So and I used to be on at night to 2 in the morning. Every other week. I wasn't on every week. Every other week.
What was the times at night? It was 10 at night to 2 in the morning?
11 at night to 2 in the morning.
And this is on 98.7 KISS FM back in the day, right?
98.7 KISS.
Now, this is when the famous slogans, yes, I mean, I'll let you do that more than me, and things like that, and Red Alert goes berserk. Like, how did all that come about?
Big up to my man Pow Wow.
All right.
Pow Wow from Zoo Nation, so sorry for us. Me and him used to always joke about the chicken hawk that was known on cartoons.
Okay.
And the chicken horse used to always stop at the end, whatever he say yes. Yes. I used to do that all the time. So I took that yes and I lengthened it and made it my signature.
Stretched it out, made it what it was, right?
I did not know it was going to become a signature, but I saw how it stand out so much that I wound up just continue doing it.
And you know what's so funny? I think that's what's so funny. I think things around you kept you iconic to this day. Like, you know, there are other DJs that rock the mic. Shout out to Hollywood, you know, Reggie and things of that magnitude, because I kind of remember all that era. And like you said, the Flashes and Curtis Blows, shout out to those. But the signatures spoke for you, like the yes and the Red Alert goes berserk, because I remember there was only like, what is it, Mr. Magic on one station, and it was you on the other.
Yeah, Magic and Molly.
Yeah, and Marley, yeah. Shout out to Marley Marl. Yep.
And shout out to Mr. Magic, because he's the door opener, because, you know, he started out presenting hip hop on radio on WHBI 105.9 as far back like 81, 82, until BLS picked him up.
Yes. So now you got your own slot. You're jamming, you're getting the little slogans. All of a sudden, like, what happened to, talk about how my little nephew got into us, and when he was talking about my daddy who DJ. Shout out to my little nephew, man. Big nephew now, he's taller than both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, and his birthday's coming up as a within Saturday.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm gonna have to give him a call, please.
I got that from different directions.
Okay.
Remember when you was a kid and you was fascinated when you was looking at kids on TV?
Yes.
I'm talking about when you was a kid and you was looking at Romper Room. You looking at Captain Kangaroo.
Yes.
You looking at all these
Panorama and all those spots. We showing our age.
And then, you know, you see how kids, and you fascinated because you as a kid saying you wish you could be with them.
Yes.
What took it to the next step when I got more and more involved in listening to radio and listening to Ken Spiderweb when he was on BLS early in the morning.
Right.
Who he had on there was his kids doing promos for him.
Oh.
He had his kids that, you know, they grown now, you know.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
He had the twin boys and the girl doing promos for him. Matter of fact, his daughter turned out to be a personality on radio. So between being a kid, looking at these things on TV and leading into listening to a child, so that's what I took it upon myself to have Rob on the radio. And you know, it was funny because the first time I'll never forget, I walked Rob down to the station. He used to love coming down, boy. He used to hang out in there. And I say, yo, I want you to talk on the mic. And you know, he was like little reluctant. You know, he was like 6 years old at that time.
Yeah.
So I told my man, I said, yo, record what I gotta say. So when he recorded me, I said, play it back. So he played it back, and that's when Rob heard it and he started laughing because it was amazing to him hearing how what I just said, and he'd come back on speak. I said, now you can do the same thing. Yeah. And that's how I encouraged him to start. So I started asking him to do certain sayings.
Awesome. So now, Red Alert now, give me a year. What is this, 86, 5, 4?
That was...
What year?
No. I started 83. So you're talking about...
Okay, so we're still 83.
84, 85, that's when I started, you know, having my son on there, doing different sayings, different slogans, and playing variety of mixes. And a lot of people did not know, when I started on radio, it wasn't straight up hip hop.
Okay.
They wanted a variation of everything. They didn't want straight hip hop. They wanted to incorporate R&B, dance, rap with some hip hop sound. Now, a lot of people don't understand the difference between hip hop and rap. You had some rap records, but there was some hip hop records that we would consider that was the break beats or some of the artists from our era that came out sound, you know, making records. So I interject a little bit of everything all together.
So let me ask you a question. When people ask you about certain things, do you consider yourself part of the hip hop era or part of the rap era?
Oh, the hip hop.
Okay.
Hip hop, definitely hip hop, because that's where I come from. I have learned to embrace other different sounds of the hip hop gender later on, which the rap records got heavier, got more, had increased, you know. But in between, I've learned how to interject certain things that ride right along with the rap records.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. How did you get affiliated with the hip hop era more than the R&B era, like you were talking about? Because we're going to get into the iconic aspect of who Red Alert is. But now you're on the radio, you're playing. Where does Red Alert shift into this? He transitions into hip hop.
Well, like I just said to you, they asked for me when I first started the radio, they're playing a little bit of everything. So I know to some of them, they overlooked that, not knowing that if I'm giving you some Run DMC and I'm giving you some Houdini or some Fat Boys, and just naming a few was in the beginning, you know, the three popular ones at the time. I'm also giving you the R&B of Kashif,
Yes.
Lilo,
Yes.
Sade.
Yes.
And then I will go into other different avenues and different lanes of playing music that is out from R&B, like Madonna,
Okay.
Notes, David Bowie, Let's Dance. You know, and that's where I learned how to mix everything. And I learned that from being around Bam, because Bam was always an open-minded person when it came to music.
Okay. Okay.
And I used to always go way early before everybody came to the parties during the beginning stages, because I always wanted to hear the variety of sounds that Bam Baba played.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how I got to learn. And then, mind you, remember, this wine all the way back that when I was sneaking down to the clubs and I was listening to the R&B and the dance and disco,
Yes.
and then going up to a Cool Herc affair and listening to the hip hop, I learned how to combine in my mind the elements with the music.
Okay. So now you got Kool Herc, you're listening to his sound. You're listening, you're getting, I'm in it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's fair to be saying that you're kind of getting mentored by Bam, and where, or you're picking up certain styles and techniques. How does Red Alert now, because, you know, at this time, you're on the radio, and for anybody back then to turn on the radio and then to hear somebody, that's kind of like, oh my God, we're listening to a radio personality, we're listening to somebody. So I'm sure the notoriety is getting big. Shout out to the OJs back in the day, because those
my man Ron and my man JoJo.
Yeah, yes, exactly, right? So, I mean, those are the guys that picked you up, take you around. So now you're playing these groups, Houdini, Run DMC. Now, it's almost like they're there and you're here, you're coming along. Tell me how it's meshing. Tell me about Red Alert now, really immersed into the hip hop culture. And then you can segue into the Jungle Brothers. Shout out to the Jungle Brothers. But then we can go into the native tongues. But you can just tell me how now Red Alert is really hip hop, because you're iconic with hip hop. There are people that don't know the skill set of Red Alert as a DJ, but people have just know you as hip hop. You are probably hip hop's DJ. You know, you may not want to say that, but you are hip hop DJ. Shout out to the Grandmaster Flashes and everybody. But when we talk about legendary DJs in hip hop, Red Alert is either two, or it's 1, 2, or 3. You know what I'm saying? It's in there. So I respect to that, to the Hall of Fames and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fames and the African Museum. You're in there. So just, okay, tell me now how the hip hop man, the DJ from Harlem via Clinton, via the Bronx, now he's on the radio, gets into the business aspect of being the DJ with hip hop, native and Jungle Brothers and your groups. Talk about.
You gotta understand, because when Mr. Magic emerged from WHBI to within BLS, and then here it is, I come along, and then also respected Chuck Chill Out.
Yes. Shout out to Chuck.
It was still quote unquote something new to commercial radio. They were still trying to catch on. Now, even though we got involved in '83 and rap records being made as far back as '79, and you know, you hear the little sprinkle of certain records that were being played on radio, but not as much as far as the rap records are concerned.
Yes.
You know, and I know at one time, the rap records was very popular on KTU, you know,
Yes.
but they was always considered like, not really just rap records, but also like dance records because of the up-tempo.
Yes. Yes.
Up-tempo,
Yes.
and they interject more towards in the dance music. You know, like I say, here it is by Planet Rock. You heard a lot of different sounds that came out after Planet Rock with A.E.I.O.U., Pop Goes My Love, Shannon.
Yeah.
So no, they was always considered like dance music, but now here it is. By the time I got on, hearing the hard drum sounds, like, you know, Sucker MC was like that hard beat, you know. Now it's coming with other people was go ahead with them drum sounds, the hard beat and everything. It was still brand new to the audience. So I gathered that as I'm also a rival to Mr. Magic.
Yes.
And they also had me on the same, well, in the beginning, they didn't have me on the same time as Magic. They used to have me on 11 to 2 in the morning. Until they spoke me down to 9 to 12 at night. And I'm up against Magic at that time. So now both Kiss FM and BLS is playing rap records. So I guess they look at me as, okay, well, he just playing the hip hop and not recognizing the other music I've been playing all along. They just always interject, okay, you just play that hip hop, you just play that hip hop.
Wow.
I've been playing other different music all the time, but they pigeonhole you for thinking you just play one thing.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. I mean, shout out to the coolest legend. He's giving me an exclusive interview. This is Bill Forster of Real Talk Chronicles. You got so many people in there. If you like what you see, share it. This is a legend that we have in the building. Exclusive. Appreciate you. Your brother, our brother Michael Tyrone Hanna. Shout out to Hanna. He's saying
that little C's.
Yeah, little C's. Yeah, shout out to Hanna. All right, so you got you against Magic. You're doing your thing. You're playing records. You're playing new artists as they come along.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how did the whole hip hop game now become Red Alert and Red Alert become the hip hop game? You know, because you're playing now. How are you meeting the artists? How are you playing? Because you played around the world, and we're going to get into that too. But now, like, you've been in the videos. You know, artists shout you out in their songs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was. You know, shout out to KRS-One and, you know, Rob Bass, like, you know, Boogie Down Productions and things of that group. So take us to that whole story of that rap world, and how are you immersed into that and things of that magnitude?
I think I was credited because I was a person that, instead of just playing a familiar known artist or a familiar known song, I was always interested into finding new songs.
Okay.
That was either R&B or just as well hip hop. And if I like it, I go ahead and play it, program it. I listen, because I used to get records weekly. And I listen to everything. And, you know, if it's something that caught my attention and I got that good feeling about it, I program it.
Okay.
And I think that's where it got more as credibility to me towards in the hip hop, because I started introducing newer rap records or newer hip hop sounds, as they consider at that time.
Yes.
You know? So here it is. That's where they probably look at me more in that.
So let me ask you a question now. You're playing on the radio, and I know firsthand we've been someplace together where people have kind of asked you about playing music. I've seen people come to you and ask you about music. So now you're almost like a A&R person for the radio, because your longitude and latitude for playing music was a lot of just only you and what you wanted to play, right? And like you said, if you felt it, what kind of like have you ever played a record that you didn't that you thought was good but kind of failed? And have you ever played a record that you didn't kind of like and you thought would rock? Because I know you were very instrumental in a lot of artists' career. You know, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I was always a person that was honest,
right,
straight up, and I knew a lot of people did not like it.
Yes.
Like, hey, yo, man, play my record, man. Hey, yo, man, yo. If I like it, I play it.
Right.
And another thing that I'm proud to say to this day, I will not take a dime to play records.
All right.
You know why? Because you're not going to pimp me.
Right.
I refuse to be pimped in order for you or be brought to play records. Even though I have learned stories already from before, you know, they call about the payola.
Of course. Well, we're on under the table money. We know about the
table money. So I didn't want to get caught up with that. If I like it, I'm going to play it. If I didn't like it, I'm not going to play it. Now, I will admit, there's some records I played, and I liked it. It didn't go nowhere. There's some records I did not play, and it turned out being a hit. But I got to make the decision for myself according to what I feel I can program for my show.
And exactly, and it is for your show. And your show at the time, I'm sure. Now, back then, talking about ratings, you know, comparison to just you and Magic. And then I know Marley came along later on, but like with those shows, and Chuck too, shout out to Chuck. So when they come in 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, was it like a back and forth, like a seesaw between you guys back in the days on the radio?
No, I never really paid much attention at that time about the ratings. I think I was paying attention more of the audience outside that was taking to me for what I was doing. Now, not knowing how much they was taking to Magic and Marley, but when I saw that they felt good for what I was doing, it gave me a drive to keep going for what I'm doing. And that's the way I took it in consideration, because it took a while for me to look at that part as far as ratings is concerned. I always heard about it, but I never paid attention because I'm too busy into what I'm doing. And then I know there was times when people used to say, you should hear what they're doing. I say, if I'm paying attention to what they're doing, then I'm not focusing on what I'm doing.
Right.
For what I believe in. And that's what
And you know what's so funny? I definitely could put a stamp of approval on that, because I tell people all the time when it comes to parties, shout out to my man Mike Eddie, when we were doing parties, I never worried about what anybody else did. I worried about what we did. Because the bottom line, as long as we handle our business, it is what it is. That's like me getting mad at somebody from opening up a bodega or a store. Listen, if you come into my store, you come into my store because of me or what I have in my store. If you want to go to that other store, that is what it is. And I think there's a lot of hating in it. You and I talked about haters from the sidelines and things of that magnitude. So now you're playing on the radio, you're playing with the clubs. And of course, we got to give a shout out to the Violators, the original Violators, that family. Just give people a brief synopsis how the whole Violator family came to fruition and came together, and then we can go on and talk about that. But you know, and of course, respect to Baby Chris, shout out to him. In peace.
How that came about when I started Union Square, that's down on 17th Street in Broadway, across the street from Paragon Sporting Group.
Right.
Here it is. When I started playing, you had a set of people that came down, and that was Baby Chris, Sneaky D. It was guy Magic. I forgot my man, the Spanish guy. They're all from up, they Zulus.
Yes. So
when they came down, this is what they used to say: "Bam sent us down here for you."
Okay, all right.
I looked at them, I'm like, yeah, Bam sent you, okay. I already caught on. I said, so, during the course of the time while they in there, they being themselves, acting up, but they had this thing about anybody that came with a girl, they want to try and bogart the person to take their girls. I said, what y'all doing? And I said, yo, y'all can't be violating them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how that name caught on.
Ain't that something?
And then a couple months later, a month or two later, here come the next set. Here come Chris Ali and Big Rod. And what they say? Bam. I said, okay, come on.
Come on in.
Rich, that's his name, the Spanish guy. Rich, Magic, and I think one more, they had pulled off. And now it's Baby Chris, Sneaky D, Big Rod, and Ali.
Yeah.
The last person came on board was Hands.
Hands. Shout out to Hands.
Yeah. And how they really got to be known, they was never the type of looking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, if people remember, Union Square was dominated by everybody in Brooklyn.
Of course, absolutely.
Brooklyn was heavy.
Strong.
Brooklyn was heavy in all the clubs, all the hip hop clubs because in the later part of the Roxy, they was dominating that. They started dominating Funhouse, and they start dominating.
When they came up to Broadway International, oh my God, like, they were coming. Brooklyn was coming. Shout out to Brooklyn.
When the Roxy, here they come. Meanwhile, these five guys who I just mentioned was not backing down. And once they were backing down, that's where it's like,
handle the business, yeah.
That's where they gained their rep that ranged from there, Union Square, to later on to Latin Quarters.
Right.
And before you know it, when they start coming up and hanging with me at the radio station, you all start making promos for me.
Yeah.
So I'm playing their promos. Everybody, when I move around, the violators with me. First thing they used to say, that's security. I say, nah, we secure each other. I never look at them as security.
Yeah.
These are my boys, these are my people. So, our brotherhood is still strong to this day, 30 plus years,
Yes.
So, that's how that became.
Yeah. Shout out to the violators. I've been blessed to be a little honorary violator on the side, because what's so funny, they've multiplied over the years in unity. We come together to celebrate the passings of our mothers and things of that magnitude, because we've gotten older and we've got more mature. So we do things, and collectively, that's how they have embraced us and things of that magnitude. I want to shout out Reggie Wells and DJ Hollywood.
Reggie Wells.
Yeah. And DJ Hollywood. What's going on, fella?
Hollywood. Poppin' boy.
Yeah. So, what's so funny? There are a lot of legends at that time, but now, you got Hollywood, you got Reggie, you got, Starsky too. And then there's you. I mean, and then, all of the respect to the Marleys and everybody else, and Chuck Chillouts. But you guys were kind of just getting that money and eating and now, Red, you were, how long have you been on the radio?
This October we're gonna make 30, let me see, we're in 2020. We're gonna make 37 years.
When did you say to yourself that this is my career, this is my job? You know what I'm saying? There are people that have done law enforcement 30-some years, to get accolades. There are people that have worked in places 30-some years. To stand the test of time on radio, where people come, go. We know a lot of DJs. We know a lot of air personalities. We know a lot of people that have touched that radio, but have not stayed there for whatever reason, good, bad, or indifferent. That we're not here to judge that. But the thing is that you have been able to hold suit all the way through. Explain what do you think that the key to that was? What was your longevity?
I got to give it up to a lot of people who are legends in radio that mentor me.
Okay.
That took time. Respect to Barry Mayo, brought me in, making me learn the basics, and a few others. But who I really give it to, my man Fred Bugs.
Bugs, I'm coming at you. I want to interview you, Bugs.
I'm gonna
Fred Bugs.
I'm gonna tell you, when Bugsy came to start working at Kiss FM, he started breaking down a lot of different things to both Chuck Chill Out and I, as well as to Funkmaster Flex later on.
Right.
And he was showing us the structure of what it takes to maintain in radio. Because remember, we are the least noticeable ones on radio because it's the personalities that get more exposure than the mixers.
Yes, yes, yes.
We had to take time to listen to him with the structure and also learn to brand ourselves. What I always learned to do to this day, I always look at it as that radio is my stage for outside work.
Okay.
I had to pay my dues. The first 3 months when I got on in October to January, first 3 months, I wasn't getting a dime. And then when I finally got paid, every time I got on, it was only $100. But I'm looking at how much more I make with the exposure on radio
than
I'm getting on the outside. And then another thing I learned how to brand myself, promote myself. I took advantage by number one, the videos.
Okay.
Let me tell you a story. Here it is. I used to DJ for Sparky D. Big up to my girl, Sparky D. This is during the Roxanne era. And Sparky, Spider D, and I, we was down in Kentucky. Now, meanwhile, my tapes is traveling around because people used to always record you. And if they record you, you know, they're going away to school, going into service, or they going to your family. Your tapes had traveled everywhere.
Exactly.
You know, that was our internet then.
Yes, yes, yes. Real talk. Real talk.
So now, here it is. We down in Kentucky, and this guy wanted to brag off, say, I met this person, I met that person. So this guy say, I met Red Alert. So Sparky and somebody say, you met Red Alert? I said, yeah, I met her. So we stayed quiet until about half an hour later. You tell him, say, that is Red Alert. And he got quiet. Before you know it, I started learning in the beginning stages, you had a lot of people that used to be imposters of any artist. Any artist, any group used to be imposters, portray themselves who they are.
Okay, all right.
And I said, you know what? When the video came in, I think the very first video, of course, the very first video I was in, and not even knowing because they took the film clip of it, was in Planet Rock.
Really? Okay. All right.
But I trying to remember the very first video somebody asked me to be in. And after I got in it, I said, you know what? I gotta take advantage of this because you know why? Let people recognize who I am. So that was part of branding, marketing myself.
Absolutely. Did you have, so I know you shout out to Bugsy, Barry Mayo, shout out to those. Those kind of put you on the course of learning the business aspect of this behind the scenes business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Because, you know, and Beverly said, I mean, my man Tony Gray, Vinnie Brown. I mean, it's quite a good amount of people, you know, that even, well, not just radio, even on the recording field that, you know, who took to me, you know, from record labels or promotion standards, and they took to me and, you know, they sit me down and they talked to me. And I think what really impressed them about on my behalf, because when the conventions was going on, I wasn't going to the conventions to hang out. I was going to conventions to listen. I used to sit down at all the panels, listen to them, hear what's going on, and people observing you. Matter of fact, I never forget, it took a while for people to accept me in the business. You know why? Because number one, everybody know I don't dress. I'm not a dress-up guy. Yeah. I'm just as I am.
Yes.
So when I used to go to these quote-unquote album release parties, when they used to always have new artists or established artists with a new album out, they used to always invite me. So when I used to always go around, I used to always introduce myself to people. And then you have some of them that are, you know, they kind of funny, they shake you off, or like, yeah, how you doing? So, or, you know, there's something. But then until one day at a convention, somebody told me the Impact Convention in Nancy, and they said to me, you in? I said, what you mean? For the longest, we always observe you because we always think of you that you one of the most street guys, a thug, a hoodlum and everything. You don't dress up everything, but how you carry yourself.
Right,
And
right.
how you carry yourself and how we see what you do when you go to the conventions and you take time learning, we look at you different. And that's when they start opening up to me. So that's how they start mentoring me upon other different aspects of the business.
Wow. So now you're strategizing, you're doing these seminars and things of that magnitude, and you listen, you're learning from the labels, because now, let me ask you a question. Do you ever consider yourself as a star, even though you are, but do you ever consider yourself as a star?
Once again, from my humble upbringing amongst my elders, if I see how the way, rest in peace, my aunt carried herself for what she was known for, being one of the first Black opera singers, and how my brother carried himself, being a known figure from, and I guess, without knowing, as just naturally I follow suit.
Right.
But of course, I always look at this too. I'm gonna be honest, Bill. I say this many a time. This could be taken away from you any given day. So I never take it for granted.
Somebody, shout out to Chris Ali. He's watching. Violators in the building. Reggie Wells told me to ask you. He said, ask him about the Black Radio exclusive convention. I don't know if that's some behind the subject.
BRE.
Okay.
That was down there in New Orleans.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Shout out, Reggie. We got a part 2 for you, too. I already told you where we got a part 2. Shout out to my old partner, Al. He's chiming in. There's so many people that here that's chiming in for you, Red. There's a lot of love, as you deserve. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I have the coolest legend in the building. This is an exclusive interview that he's given to his brother, his boy, Bill. And I am so humble and appreciate it. This is about giving him his flowers. This is about letting him know that we appreciate his music for years. Before I even met this man, I'm listening to him on the radio. And then when I got to meet him, when I tried to embark into the music business, and I was trying to do A&R and publicity for the record label, I met this man. And, him and Jeff Fox, we always joke about that. We would have parties, and they would always be like, yo, come on, Bill, you can come. And I think that was always the humble beginnings that we've always had. I have to give him another props that he did when my father transitioned, or my mother at the time. His mother had already passed away. And I knew I was at a place in my life that I was just messed up. I think it was my father. And I called you because you had already lost a loved one, and your mother was the general. Everybody knew moms.
Yeah. She was the heartbeat, big time. That 5 feet, but a giant in her own.
All the time. Shout out to mom. She was there. She get that window seat. And let me tell you, she tell me, come here, Bill, let me look at you. You look nice today. Like, shout out to mom. Because let me tell you something. A lot of artists had to go through that window and come see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And not only that, but not just the people who came in here, but the neighborhood respected her big time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, shout out to Peter Shue. Love you, Pete. We see you in here, baby. I'm going to have to get you on the show.
You was there?
Pete's in here too, baby. Pete's in here too.
I remember he had me wearing a tux at one of his affairs.
Yeah. Pete said that. Shout out to Peter Shue. Pete said that he was the only person that ever put you in a suit before. And yes, he did. I'm sure he did. So let's talk about the rap groups. Let's talk about now. Red Alert is this hip hop DJ that everybody knows him. You're playing on the outside gigs. You're DJing at the radios. It's a business now. You're doing your thing. How did you really get immersed into the record labels? Shout out to Mike G and the Jungle Brothers. But talk about how they became your groups and how they all came up in the native tongues.
Well, I first got a taste of the recording field, not being on the band, but within my own. When big up to my man Vincent Davis. Mm-hmm. Vincent Davis had his label called Entertainment Records. And he had Chuck Chill out making a couple scratch records. He made Cutting Herbie and Hip Hop on Wax Volume 1. And he had a group called the B-Boys that made a couple hip hop songs. So now he asked me, do I want to do Volume 2? So I did a scratch record, Volume 2. That was, I would say, that was my birth for getting into the recording field. Within later on, I had a couple artists that was coming to me asking for help. So here it is. I remember when I helped get Ultramagnetic involved on a label. They was on Next Plateau. And also there was a group out in Queens called Black Rock and Ron. I had them on the label Next Plateau. And I got to learn a lot more because working with Sparky D. Sparky D had me as a DJ, you know, and he did a record about me called He's My DJ. So I got to touch a little bit on that in the recording field until I know Mike used to always say, yo man, me and my boys want to make a record. We want to make a record. I at first did not take Mike serious. Mike is my nephew, everybody don't know, my sister's son. So I had just met up with my man Tony D from out in Brooklyn. He had a group called the Bad Boys that made a record called Inspector Gadget. And he just finished building a studio in his basement. He said, yo, you got anybody who have interest, bring them over. I said, okay. So that's why I said, yo, Mike, okay, y'all want to make a record? I'm going to send y'all down to my man Tony D house. So it was him and Africa. Africa at the time was known as Shazam. East Coast. And, you know, they became, a lot of people did not know, as them being members of the Jungle Brothers, they come from a high school that it was people who was that was about to be future known people, stars and everything. Because they was in Mary Burch at the same time as Q-Tip, Ali Shahi, Jerobi, my man, whoever Jay from X-Clan, and rest in peace, my man Sugar Shaft, who was the DJ for X-Clan. And you know, it's all together, you know, in their mind of what is it they want to bring to the forefront. So Mike and Af, you know, they came to me, I sent them down. So they started recording. The first record they was made is called The Breaks. They didn't take it further. But the next record they made was from something that my brother used to always say. My brother who I told you I grew up with. My brother was known for, everybody used to always hear me doing the acronyms, the abbreviations. I got that from my brother. But he used to always have this little saying about the Jimbrowski.
So that's where that came from.
So here it is. They went ahead and made a record called Jimbrowski.
Oh.
And that was their very first record that came out, you know. And the flip side was bragging and boasting. So when the label saw what they had and they took a liking to them, they went ahead and started pursuing making more music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now shout out to the Jungle Brothers, Mike. That's my man. It's always been a cool brother. The one thing I can thank Moms for, you know, she always kept y'all grounded and even keeled. You know, the personalities are always the same. Now, how did the Native Tongues all come together?
Well, some people want to give me credibility. I can't take the credibility. Here it is, for what I learned, that Jungle Brothers got to meet De La Soul for the first time doing the show. They both got to meet each other and they got to feel the same vibe on the same page of what they was doing with their style and their presence. At the same time, here it is, Q-Tip is around. So now when the Jungle Brothers started making their first album, also they made a promo for my show. It was called, that became so, how can I say, so popular that it wound up becoming a record because it was just a promo for the radio show. It became a record.
All
They
right.
did a follow-up to the record of the promo called In Time, and they brought Q-Tip on that. Not only they brought him on that, but also he was also known on the album for Jungle Brothers, Black is Black. So now it's an introduction for him. So now here it is, same time De La Soul is on the same label as Queen Latifah, and I got real cool with Mark the 45 King.
Shout out to Mark, yes.
45 King was known having the flavor unit under his belt. You know,
Yes.
big up to my man, Rakim Shabazz, Sharab G, Rock T, later on Apache, Queen Latifah product.
Yes.
So now here it is, he started gelling along with them. He started gelling along to them, and there was Mike, Jungle Brothers went overseas for the first time in '88, and who they come across meeting? The person who was like really going hard repping for hip hop out there, Mooney Love.
Okay, all right.
Now here it is, everybody start to attach each other. Who coming on last? First time I got to meet my man, I was DJ with Sparky D, down in North Carolina. There was this guy, he was nice on the turntables, bad. They used to call him Shorty Doo-Wop.
Okay.
He came up to New York, started being around us, came across an old friend of his. Here it is, his friend named Drez.
Yes.
Shorty Doo-Wop changed the name to Mr. Long. They became Black Sheep.
Right.
So
Shout out
we
to Fred.
had an attachment. Now the person who gave the title native tongue, for what I gather, is Africa. I think he came up with the name native tongue.
Shout out to Africa
So
too.
he said we all speak in tongue.
Yeah. Yeah, let me tell you something. That was a movement. That was definitely something. Shout out to Drez, very humble dude. I like hanging out with him. Shout out to all of the native tongues, just positive, inspirational people. Now, the name Violator gets branded and it goes to Def Jam, right? I think, help me with that, is Baby Chris takes that and runs with it?
Now here it is. When Jungle Brothers came on board and started doing that, I assigned Baby Chris to be their road manager.
Okay.
Baby Chris was, you know, at that time he's young, arrogant,
Yeah.
you know, stubborn in his own, but very, a lot of people did not know that while he was hanging out at Union Square Latin Quarters, he was also, well, I know in Union Square, he was going to school. Not only that, at the same time going to school, but he was also working as an electrician for Metro North
Okay. All right.
at an early age.
Right.
He had a good head on his shoulder and know how to make money.
Yes.
You know, he went to Alfred E. Smith, him and Sneaky D.
Yep.
And here it is, I saw him become the road manager with Jungle Brother, where he started learning and knowledging more of the business, where he, at one point, he became a member of the Jungle Brother. He's like the fourth member. Yeah, he was part of the show. So here it is now, he got an offer through the affiliation of Rush Management to extend himself. And he took that offer. And when he took that offer, he learned how to build from there. He established Baby Sounds, under Baby Sounds, which is the umbrella. Under it, he had different business. And some of it was Violator Records, Violator Management, and I think Brand Assets. Chris Ali can give me the.
Yeah, Chris will break it down.
Yeah.
Chris will break it. One day I might get all the Violators, all the original Violators on
the original Violators, you know, which is Chris Ali,
Yeah.
Big Rod, Sneaky D,
Yeah.
Black Jesus,
Yeah.
and Baby Chris.
Yeah. Yes. Respect to the Violators.
Mm-hmm.
So now, just the career is booming. You're playing on the outside. You're playing on the inside. You're in the music industry. Now you're traveling around the world. Tell us about how did that start to feel like? Wait a minute, like you still got the radio. You're involved in hip hop, and now you're playing outside of the world. Like, just give us a little brief synopsis.
I can tell you how the tapes was traveling around. This is like the first couple of years that, you know, the tapes was traveling around. And I was already going overseas. First time I went to London. Then after that, I was going to Germany, a couple places. Them tapes travel.
Right.
And people hire you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've had the pleasure when I was promoting at that time when I was at that pinnacle of success. And, you know, I hired you, you know, and we've always had good business. Like you did the Roseland for me, and we took it on the road. And you know what's so funny? I always told you I came to you because and we could talk about this in the business aspect, because there are some promoters or people, venue, whatever they want to call themselves, to come and try to shortchange you. I always remember vividly, I said to you, I said, Red, you're a legend. Give me your price. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's crazy how sometimes people will always try to bargain with you and stuff like that. You know, your history, your resume is impeccable, second to none. You know, equal to some, but second to none. And I say that, and that's real talk. And that's why I'm so glad you're here. Shout out, like I said, to Reggie for letting me know. I mean, you guys have become my friends. You know, shout out to Hollywood too, that I really, you know, appreciate the work and the men that you are. I say all that to say, iconically, there are people in the music industry that look up to you. Like I've heard Rakim, shout out to Rakim, say it on national TV. You know, how you pulled them to the side and schooled them on certain things. Like when when rappers come to you and talk to you, are you going to them or are they coming to you and they're gravitating to you and you're just talking to them how to be a businessman or a better artist? Tell me about your relationship with the industry and the people.
Well, honestly, I have a great relationship with a lot of artists, and it go either way. Either I come to them or they come to me. It go according to whatever the subject matter is that we come across each other and get, you know, to speak. Whatever I can pass on to them, I pass it on to them, you know, because it was passed on to me.
Yes.
Sometimes, even to like some of the artists of today that can put me up on what's going on current, you know, what's going on at this present time, you know. And my sons, you know, they keep me abreast of what's going on, you know. That's what you got to do in order to maintain, to continue.
Let me ask you a question. Big shout out to Allison Williams. She told me to tell you hi.
Hey, Al.
Allie Cat. And people don't know, Allison is the original real talker. When my mother passed away, there was a core of 8 that we all got together and they helped me transition. Besides calls like you and my man Reggie Johnson, I always got to shout out to him. JDW, they managed Mary J. Blige and Jeff Red back then. But I have to give a shout out to Allison. She'll definitely be on the show very soon because there's a lot to talk about. The First Lady of Def Jam. So I'm big to that. Now, let's talk about longevity. How do you think that you're able to just sustain such a illustrious career? And the bottom line is, you talk about the new music. No disrespect to it. Me personally, there had to be certain songs that catch me. As a DJ, now when you get paid to play, even to this day, you know, I'm sure before the pandemic, you play what people want to, cater to the crowd. Are you selective now, or is it that, okay, I'm still going to play? I mean, do you still play like the new music that maybe we may not understand so much, as our parents used to say to us, but like, that ain't music, boy. You know what I'm saying? This is real music.
Now, like I said, in my prime time, I was well known for breaking records. Introducing, you know. A lot of people don't understand what breaking records is. Everybody think it's like you the first to play. It's not being the first to play. How much you influence somebody for what you play. That's what.
Yes.
So that was my prime time. That prime time is over, and it's a new day where people don't break records no more. You know why? Because everything is online. So if the audience want to see or know or hear the latest, they go online, YouTube, wherever stream there is to listen for new stuff. I know that come to times where I know some people will come to me, yo, you got this, you got that. They are being influenced by what they hear online before they hear what the DJ playing. Now, I'm gonna take time to judge everything I'm hearing that's happening, and it fit me and it fit the audience who I cater to, because not all the music of today is bad. Not all of it.
Not exactly.
You gotta pull out what you see that fit according to your audience that care for.
Exactly. Let me ask you a question, Brett.
At the same time, there are a couple of records that I believe in. I still gonna give it a chance.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you a question. We talk a lot about the whole business. We talk about a lot of things. You and I, when we sidebar and we converse about just the music industry and the people in this business, it's a grimy business. How have you been able to just stay with it? I mean, I guess you might have contributed, you might have said it earlier, contribute to your humbleness, but the business where people can just, it's a cutthroat business. But it seems like Red Alert has just stayed the test of time. You that little ship that just, you know what I'm saying? Oh, wave, okay, I got it, wave, you know, and you're still here. I mean, tell me about that. Like, how are you just, you know, just been able to stay?
I always took time to observe what to do and what not to do, and don't follow the path where everybody is going,
Right.
and fall on the bad side. You know, I witnessed stuff. I tried a couple things, and I see it don't work. I leave it alone. I refuse to sell myself short, sell my soul.
Yes.
And what's the latest slogan we all say today? I learned to stay out the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I'm like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Forster, Real Talk Chronicles. I have the coolest legend in the building. And I know he's the coolest legend by all the numbers that I see that are looking and watching. And I appreciate you. If you like what you hear, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Check out YouTube, Real Talk Chronicles. This will be there in a few days. So please show this man some love, give him his accolades. And it's all about the coolest legend tonight. So let me ask you a question. There are DJs that we've seen come and go. They have names that suit them. You know, I'm just using one example, Flash, you know, shout out to the Kid Capri, shout out to all the DJs that, especially from a promotional aspect that I've worked with so many, but I'm just saying that you've been around the world and you know that. In the business, there are some people that just see you as hip hop. How did you feel about that? Because you and I talked about this. There was a time when you were playing downtown and you invited me downtown to come check you out. And let me tell you something. I saw a Red Alert that I had never seen before. You remember I think it was at Mark Ballroom, Union Square, I don't know where it was, and you were playing classics and songs. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know, you know, all shout out, I thought you might have been Timmy Regisford and Jelly Bean and Louis Vega. I said, oh my God, this man is doing his thing. And I saw you actually dancing and jamming behind the turntables. It was, for me, it was just one of the most joyous moments I've ever witnessed seeing you DJ. And I've been around you 100 times playing in clubs and parties and stuff, but to actually see you really enjoying. So I'm segueing into the saying, you've got pigeonholed in just being a rap DJ, where you are a DJ, and people kind of forget that. What's your feelings on how you feel about just being pigeonholed into just being considered a hip hop DJ and not just a DJ, the artist?
You know, it's funny you say that because at some point it used to bother me. It used to bother me, but then I learned that I can't let that get in my way.
Mm-hmm.
People were, it's all about the perception. The perception, because I know one thing override the other. I know from all the different genres of music around, they're going to look at you as just hip hop, you know? And that's why, according to the image, I don't dress.
Right.
That could be a part of it. I don't
Maybe.
dress, you know, I don't dress up according to that. So they look at you as a hip hop guy. But not knowing, as I mentioned, when I started being involved and interested, I was going to all the clubs downtown. So what makes you think I don't know all the classics?
Mm-hmm.
I got all the records down with some of my brothers is mine. I got them.
Right.
I got everything that ranged from the 60s on up.
Yeah.
I got to learn everything.
Yeah.
So if I know that my peers, my audience, not just my audience, but my peers and my friends that is around the same age as me, why not let them enjoy and play what they grew up on?
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Shout out. Reggie Wells said you were the first person that gave him. You gave me the 12-inch "I Found Lovin'" by the Fatback Band. Let me tell you something. I'm putting it out here on Front Street. Reggie, Red. One day, if you're all for it, I'd love to get both of you here together in the future and have a Reggie and Red Alert Real Talk Chronicles session, so you can just take us back to memory lane, because I know there's just so much energy and knowledge that you guys can talk about from a DJ standpoint. I mean, shout out to Reggie Wells, iconic in his own right. I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You know you my dude. And we talked about this so many times, so I appreciate you. So I would love, ladies and gentlemen, ask Red later on, will he do that conversation with Reggie Wells and them two one day in the future? I appreciate that. So now, like you said, you understand, but I've always told, and shout out to Mike Eddie, you know, even, you know, when you used to come to my parties, that I used to tell Mike, I said, yo, that's my dude, man. You know, he looked at me, and that was my humbleness to you always. And, you know, Mike and I have always talked about how he's evolved and we've evolved, and our brotherhood is back to where it was when we were out there doing business together, which is a beautiful thing. But it is just a beautiful thing to see how I'm in awe, and I say that humbly, but with accolades. Like, people still look up to you. You still work. Before this pandemic, you were still working. You know, you even talked about the one thing about you, you can always DJ. And that's a career that nobody can take away from you. And do it. Did Red Alert ever see himself being in the Hall of Fame, and in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the African American Museum? Did you ever think when he was a young Red growing up that this is where he was going to be? Or what was your vision on that, man? You
never know how people on the outside view you, look at you, and how they, you know, on one, you know. You never know how they care about your body of work.
Right.
You know, what is it that you brought to the table? You know, I'm busy into what I'm doing.
Right.
And networking and building, you know, I continue, you know. I always kept on feeling like I still got more to offer, you know, no matter how long you've been around, you know.
I agree with that.
I've been through my crossroad, I admit that. But I learned to rebuild and move on, you know.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Let me chime in right now. Let me ask you a question. As a DJ, like we've already stated earlier, there are certain slogans that have branded you more than the average another DJ that may have did something fancy with the turntables or was a master this and do that like that. That never was your style. Not that you couldn't do it, but tell everybody out here what is Red Alert's DJ style, if there's ever such a thing as that.
I was never into that. Like I say, coming up along with Bam, I was always fascinated of my cousin Jazzy. I would pass the records to him. I never got into that. but I have learned to build my own lane to show you what I'm capable of doing. And that where is, I like to mix, I like to blend. It's like learning the right timing to bring the next song right behind the other, as well as introducing something to you that's different from the norm, but it's still catchy. Those, what I think is my fortes, would help make me who I am.
And I agree with you. You know, shout out. I see you, C. Lee. Definitely, when I was mentioning legends, of course, I have to mention DJ Hollywood. That's my man. Shout out Hollywood. I'm trying to holler at you, man. See your boy, man. But when I was talking about getting the legends, I would love. I had one time I had mentioned to these guys on Real Talk. I was thinking about taking Real Talk Chronicles to another level. I wanted to get all three of them on a platform together, and I still do. But I do feel that each one of them deserves their own shine, and I want to give that to each one of them individually. So I got Reggie first, and I got Red Alert. Hollywood, you up next, baby. Don't have me call you again. You know, Wood. Shout out to Hollywood. You know, a humble brother. I love him, Hollywood. So you're right.
You know, Hollywood is another person. Reggie and I did not get the bill until years later. We always heard each other. We didn't get the bill until years later. Same thing. I wasn't at Hollywood parties. I always heard so much about them, but as you know, one thing I learned that as everybody get older, the circle gets smaller.
Yes.
Now, here it is. Like I say, when I was going to all the flash parties and AJ and then being down with band, that was over there. On behalf of Reggie, Hollywood, Eddie Cheever, rest in peace, Jumba, they was over there. They had their style.
Yeah.
But as years come by, we all come across path and we see we have something in common.
Yes. Yeah, and you know what's so funny? The thing is, and I mean, like I said, shout out to all the other DJs that are iconic and then we all know and love. I talk about the ones that I'm the closest with, and shout out to Eddie Cheever. That's my man. He's definitely rocked my parties too. So no disrespect to Eddie. You know, I know sometimes Eddie feel like he ain't getting that love, but Eddie, we love you, and I'm telling you that we love you. You my man. But the thing of it is that my personal connections definitely are with you, Holly, and Reg, and you know, you've all played for me. We've all worked together in this business of love and emotions. But the thing is, you guys have also embraced me where you respected my craft of work, my body of work. And then that made us, at that time, doing business equal. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys were always established. I remember seeing you guys play at places where I wasn't even thinking about getting in this business of promotions or the music business. And I see you guys playing and I'm like, oh, and you know, you may walk through the crowd and, you know, and people are staring at you guys. And then to come to find out later on to meet you and develop a honest, sincere friendship that we can call each other at any time of the night. I mean, you and I, we talk on the phone hours sometimes, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
And you know, the beautiful thing is my wife teases me, and I'm sure Sandra might tease you on this sometimes. And I say tease with a different spin on it. So many people can call us at any given moment. And we might sit there and talk, but that is a part of our business too. So reaching out, talking to people, because at any given time, it's like I always tell people, you know, you don't want to introduce me to D Nice. You know, we were going down to a party, you know, and D Nice came to pick us up. And, you know, like there were so many people in this business that talk to you, love you. Like Red, you are legendary in this. I mean, hip hop, you can say you came under that umbrella, but you are so much more than that. You are an ambassador to music. You are an ambassador to hip hop. And do you wear that badge with honor, the hip hop badge?
Definitely wear that hip hop badge. You know, I represent to a lot of people that believe in what is it I'm a part of.
Yes.
That how I'm going to turn it down, how I'm going to turn away. You know, I'm going to carry on. You know, it's a pleasure where people who are my peers that say, yo, what's up, Red? To Griffin, the younger would say, yo, what's up, Uncle Red? You know, I mean, it's an honor.
Shout out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels too.
Uncle Ralph.
Uncle Ralph, yeah, a big brother, another brother that's iconic. I'm gonna have to get Ralph. I might have to have you broker that for me and get Ralph on this thing too. We're gonna talk to him. So let me ask you this: this whole pandemic has changed business. I was doing the brunch party recently. It was awesome. I wasn't even getting back into promotions, but it was something that was just. I always say promotion was a God-given talent to me. I was able to do it. He knew that what I was good for, and but now social distancing, this coronavirus, COVID-19. What do you think business? I mean, as a DJ, what do you think this business is going to do for this virus is going to do for business now in the future? Like, is this online? Is this where we at now, or what do you think?
It's hard to say because, you know, we always got to keep on learning to recreate and try to come up with different ideas and, you know, different structures. But, you know, we can't tell what the future upholds according to what we are part of. Yeah. We didn't expect this.
No, not at all.
This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But we had to learn to adjust.
Yeah.
You have to learn to adjust in order for you to maintain, you know? I mean, if you don't adjust, you know, you'll be limiting yourself and you out of the equation.
Yeah. Speaking of adjust, I just want to give a shout out to Lady D. Wells. She chimed in and told me to tell you hi. So, you know, that's part of the radio station family, part of the 4-Star family back in the days. So you're right. We got to adjust. This is a new world order. This is a new business. Mm-hmm. Does Red Alert ever see him putting the turntables down and just chilling? Or what next? Is Red Alert going to keep playing and playing and playing? I want you to keep playing. I'm sure it is. When I look at all these people in here chiming in here, they want you to keep playing. What is Red going to do? How long is Red rocking?
Well, that's a good question, you know, and I appreciate that. Number one, I learned to adjust because I still play on the turntables, but I play on other different things too, you know, from the CDJs to the controller. You know, you got to adapt, you know. I remember some of my peers, I don't like that, I'm still, yo, here it is. It's the same thing, like you ain't at a pay booth, you got a cell phone. You got to adjust, you know. I go according to where my desire continues to be. Yeah. That's what it is.
I hope it stays in music because let me tell you something. You need to play satellite radio. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, and we talked about that, so that's why I'm going there. Like, you are the epitome. You can throw classics out. There's so much. I mean, I don't even want to ask you how many records you have in your system. I don't even want to know that because I'm sure the numbers might be astronomical.
Yes.
but I think you and I talked about one time, even talking about when I was managing Lady D. Wells, how, you know, she was good at changing with the system. Now I'm going to talk about that, but I have a couple more things I'm going to ask you because before I let you go. Now, you've gone from the switching of the knob to switching to where it is about a computer now. About the evolution of DJing. Like, tell me what's your thoughts on that? Just how it's transitioned from turntables to synthesizers to mixers to now it's a computer, and you stayed the test of time.
No, you gotta learn to move along. If I could learn how to adjust to the different eras and generation of music, I gotta learn to adjust to what's in front of me as far as, you know, what provided for you to play. Yeah. You know, if I come to a club and I don't see no turntable, and they got CDJs and they got a controller, I'm supposed to turn down the night. The show must go on.
Still got it, yeah, exactly.
The show must go on because if that audience expects to hear you, you got to pursue what you got to do.
Right. Red, what does Red Alert like to listen to when he's in the confines of the house, when he's just chilling? What do you like to listen to?
No, it's funny you asked that because there's a variety of different type of things that I love listening to that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I love jazz.
Yes.
I love jazz. I love hearing a variety of other artists from overseas. There's a group, female group that was known for a long time that I still listen to their music called the Swing Out Sisters.
Okay.
I listen to, my wife and I, we love listening to classics. You know, we go back to like the 60s, 70s,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes when I hear some new stuff that, you know, I never heard before, you know, and here it is, once again, you know, on behalf of my younger son, that big up to G Mims, that, you know,
Mims, shout out to my nephew too. Exactly.
Yeah, always keep me abreast of the latest stuff that's going on, and if it's catchy, I take to it, you know?
Right. So when you hear a song, what do you listen to first, the beats or the lyrics?
Of course, I'm listening to the beat. The beat catch me, and I see if the lyrics, you know, the person that's rhyming, if they riding over the beat, you know, the track of the music real good. Because sometimes you will have some songs that got good beats, and the lyrics don't sound good, or they don't know how to flow over the tracks good, where it may sound, you know. And then you have some good artists out here where they don't have no good tracks. The music, you know, they could be, they're coming out sounding great in what they're saying, but the music is not giving them no credibility.
Let me tell you something. It's so funny you said that. I was listening to Drez. He was rocking on Instagram with Kwame, and shout out to those two. And he was rocking on some new stuff that he was working on. It was just straight fire. I think he's an excellent lyricist. Let me give you a shout out to Mark Shelby in the house, of course. Shout out to Hannah. I got to give a shout out to Big No Leader in the building. He always wanted to be a rapper. He just said shout out to a living legend. Respect all the times. So where do you think music is going right now, Red? Like where do you see it? You've seen it evolve, like you said, from the classics to New Jack Swing. Shout out, respect to Andre Harrell. You know, rest in peace to him, definitely.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen it travel the course of time. You've been in this business definitely longer than me. Where do you see it going? Where do you think it should go?
It's hard to say because a lot of different sounds that was at one point new catch you off guard, that you didn't expect, that, you know, that sound different from before, you know? Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, you know? But it depends on the creators and the consumers. The creators that learn how to bring it out and perfect it, and the consumers that learn how to carry it, you know? But it's hard to say. You can't.
This music business has gone a long way. I mean, I remember back in the days when we used to go to all the industry parties. We had an industry party from Monday to Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Every night of the week. It was just, I mean, there was different labels.
Every night, always going to some different function, always something going on. Never fit.
Yeah, we lived in a beautiful time. I try to tell my wife all the time, listen, if back in that day, woo-wee, I don't know if I'd have been married. It might have popped me upside my head. Because it was just a beautiful place in our lives. I mean, and it would have been a beautiful place to be a part of, to be nostalgic, to go down with that. There's what DJs does Red Alert like to listen to? I know I'm sure you love a lot of them, and that's no disrespect to any DJs, but
No. I have my selection of people who I like to hear that know how to carry a crowd as well as know how to master the turntables, you know? There's a little bit of everybody, you know? And there's a lot of DJs that by me traveling so much that I favor that don't even live here. That's in other states as well as other countries that I know for a long time that, you know, they probably, quote unquote, the big fish where they at, but, you know, they not known in other different spectrums. And I respect them for their craft. So it's, you know, it's a lot.
So Red, let me ask you a question. How do you feel when you hear, when a young DJ comes up to you and he gives you all the accolades that he's like, oh my God, you're red alert. Like, how does that make you feel?
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's a blessing because number one, you acknowledge either you did your homework,
Mm-hmm.
somebody took time to tell you, talk to you, but you acknowledge it.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful thing. Listen, everybody out here, they all chime in and they're looking, like I said, red alert. When you in your leisure, you and Sandra, y'all go back in here and you look in here and you say hi to all the people that are showing you love. This is Real Talk Chronicles.
Thanks to everybody.
That's what's all for. Yeah, big respect. You know, before I let Ray get out of here, I'm just going to ask him some other questions real quick because you know what's so funny? Red, we see what's happening out here in the world. George Floyd, Amir Audrey, you know, the sister in Kentucky, I forgot her name, just slipped my mind. You know, what's your thoughts about, you know, what's happening out here in the world today?
Very sad about the situation. Rest in peace to everybody. Life that was taken. Rest in peace, even the ones before the people this time period that, you know, how many years back they say that been, you know, been lost to murder, slaughter, and all situation, and it continues on. You know, I mean, feel bad for the family.
Of course.
No, I really think I'm more concerned about the future.
Yeah.
When I say the future, I'm talking about, and I know everybody could agree with what I'm saying, your children, your grands,
Yeah.
the young ones, that, you know, what they go and see, what they go and face when they come of age on their own. That's where, you know, I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, I mean, you know, me, as I've come along and I've taken this, I'm gonna say a conduit of information. You know, I've been told some kind of activist roles, but right now I just want to stay with the conduit of information. Kind of propelled myself in the front lines, especially being law enforcement, but also seeing what happens in law enforcement and still fighting for the rights of our people of color. Because the bottom line is, we know there's and that has to change. We want change in life. The one thing we've all known that has brought people together has been music and sports. That is the one thing.
Big time.
So
Big time.
I give big respect to you for that, because let me tell you something. I've been in places with you and I've seen whites, blacks, Spanish, Asians, you name them, they've been there and they've danced and they've enjoyed life. There are so many people out here that have embraced the world of hip hop and love hip hop. And you know what's so funny? Even if you got pigeonholed into hip hop, it has made you an iconic individual, even though you are the DJ who DJ Red Alert. You know what I'm saying? And you, I think you're an ambassador to music. I personally think your career is about to go into another stratosphere. I hope that you travel the world and just be an ambassador of music as you can, because the bottom line is, you know, music. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people get caught up. They forget that you are a DJ. You know what I'm saying? You probably got stuff in your arsenal that people don't even think you would have it in there. You might have the Rolling Stones and things of that magnitude. But because you're a DJ. You know,
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, please.
You know, a couple years ago, I'm coming in the building, and a young lady, she's got to be about maybe 19, 20. So she see me, so she on the phone, and you know, she holding the door for me to come in, and she mentioned to whoever on the phone that, yeah, I'm got Red Alert right here, you know, Red Alert. And then she came out of nowhere and she said, well, what's your latest album? And I said, I don't make music, but I can understand the perception, because in today's time, when the people were like a DJ Khaled, he got an album out with different artists.
Yes, yes.
Other different DJs got music out with different artists. So that's the perception that they think that I'm a DJ that got artists without knowing I'm a DJ that play music. So that's what's going on to some of them. Not all, but to some of them.
Now, and in all respect, Red Alert has had some albums out. And I mean, what do you think of the new DJs? Shout out to Khaled. I'm sure, like, these are people that I'm sure you meet across your path.
Yeah,
And
I have respect for them. They have respect for me.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. Like I'm saying, when these new DJs that know of you and they come to you and they kick it with you because they have the name DJ in front of their name. Like, is the conversation good? Is it like refreshing for you? Is it like enjoyable? Like, yeah, I'm just trying to find out, like, are these guys, are they coming with humble beginnings to you?
Ah, man.
Not anybody specific, but just any DJ that has notoriety. I mean, like, you know, there's the Timberlands, there's the DJ Khaled's, the Kid Capri's, there's a plethora of DJs out here right now that I think, I'm sure, I mean, man, you correct me, you tell me, this is real talk. Not to put anybody on blast, because that's not what we're trying to do, you know, but it's just about having real talk. Like, you and I talked about people in life, try to look at you maybe like, okay, he had his shine, let it go. But what about the DJs that are out there that really love you and give Red Alert that respect and props?
Man, it's quite a few of them. It's quite a few of them. No, there's a DJ, and he's younger than me. He's down there in Virginia. Big up to my man DJ B.
Okay.
And I got to meet him through my man Mick Benzo. Big up to my man Mick Benzo. And he asked me to come and do an event with him. We joined together while I'm hosting and he's DJing. And we came together as like a pair that came out so great that it has been going on 6 years that we still do that until for the past couple of years I started DJing. But we got a concept, we call ourselves B Alert, DJ B Red Alert.
Okay.
I'm just now coming across through this young man that he's from Harlem, and I met him through my son, and I like his style. I like the way how he plays. I see how he, and you know, he take time, we talk for a while, DJ Nichols, you know?
Okay.
No, it's quite a few DJs. I respect many of the, and not just my peers, but also I respect to the Danny D's. I respect not the Danny D's, but you know, the
Bell Stars, all of them, yeah. It's all of them.
My man Hands up there. I mean, everybody in that barometer that, you know, that doing their thing, you know, I respect them.
You know what's so funny? I think that is another component to your longevity. I've like, you know, our club era has been phenomenal to us, lucrative as well. And you've always given other DJs their respects. And that's why I understand. It's just like me as a promoter now. I can have an iconic name, but you know, I always tell people one time, if you don't know me, if I can't come to your door and walk in, then I'm not supposed to be at your party. And if you don't know who I am, then that's okay. I ain't mad at you, but the bottom line is, you know, do your history. You know what I'm saying? Do your homework, because it's promoters like me and the promoters before me that made the way for promoters like you, whoever you are to this day.
Also, he's on my mind right now. I got to shout out my man Brucey B. That's my man.
Brucey B, what's up, baby? What's up?
Love Brucey. No?
B, I'm coming at you. I need to interview Brucey. Shout out to Brucey B. I mean, and those are just iconic individuals out here in this world. Red, I appreciate you so much. I love you as my brother and my family. We kick it.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Before you go, because I got you 2 hours, and I love it. Let me tell you something. Everybody out there, this is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like what you've seen, you like what you heard, push the share button on Red's page or my page right now. In a few days, go to Real Talk Chronicles on YouTube, and you can have this exclusive interview yourself with me and a few others. We're out here. We're just trying to make a difference. Real Talk Chronicles. there's a lot of people that talk real, but they ain't talking realer than me. And that's what it is. And I'll put it out there because the bottom line is I got an exclusive interview with the coolest legend in the world. Red, before you go, whatever you want to say to the world, give them some words of advice, the industry, the new artists coming up, or just people in general, people of color, just people around the world, whatever you want to say. You have 2 minutes. You have the rest of this time you want to take to just say whatever you want to say and spread some love the Red Alert way. And the floor is yours, my brother, please.
First and foremost, to every single person that spent time listening to me, you heard me only one time, or you've been hearing me for the duration of time, thank you for your support. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for loving what I do. I appreciate it. To all my peers, all my associates, love y'all. Shout out to my lovely wife. Shout out to the violators. Shout out to my best friend Lamont.
Yes.
My best friend Lamont, I love him. That's my brother. I say me and him grew up together.
Yes.
There's so many names to mention. Oh man, it'd be like roll for him, man.
Yeah.
To every single person that whatever you are doing, don't have to be just only DJing. Don't have to be just rapping. Whatever you have a profession of, or you have a desire to do it to the fullest, make it the best of what it is. Always let your craft show out more. Your personality can come later on, but your craft gotta show. Because if your craft show, everything else will follow.
Yes.
I had come across Bill more in relationship with people through social media, because one thing I learned in social media, here it is, social media could be a reflection of the type of person you are.
Yes.
If you come out as a silly person, they look at you as a silly person. They look at you as a arrogant person, whatever it is, how you present yourself. Mm-hmm. And for what I think that people see that I take time posting, putting out such and such, some may not say it, but they probably saying, oh, wow, I didn't know he think like that.
Right.
I didn't know that, he have that in mind.
Yes.
They think of you. Many people have a perception of thinking who you are until they get to know you.
Yes.
And sometimes it helps along through social media when they be like, oh, wow.
Well, a lot of people don't understand the things that you post. And, I wanted to say this. You're iconic, but what you tend to do, and I was very humbled when I even heard my name mentioned, you tend to do along the way, you give a birthday shout out to anybody that that's having a birthday. Like, that is one of the most humblest things that you can do. You can give an acknowledgement to somebody that that who knows when's the last time you spoke to them, who knows how you're affiliated with them, but especially if they're in that industry that you cultivated and you watched grow and you helped grow and you're a part of, you give them big shout outs. And I think that is so humble of you to give birthday shout outs to people. What made you start that? What made you start that? What made you start doing that?
Well, shout outs was always a very popular thing. I mean, as far as going back to Mr. Magic, and even by a lot of people on radio way before Magic, and you'd be surprised that everybody listening, they just want to be acknowledged. Because they acknowledge you, they want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
It's their day, acknowledge them.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. I used to tell my partner, Mike Eddy, shout out to Mike all the time. I used to say, when you used to give 4-star shout outs and people used to have a thing you used to do, and you would tell people, they were like, well, Red Alert, what are you doing on a Saturday night? That's when you had more fluid longitude and latitude on the radios back in the days. You'd be like, where you going? And you'd be like, I'm going to 4-star party tonight. My man Bill 4-star. I'd be like, yes, he gave me a little I was so happy. And then never to ask you, and I was just so appreciative that you was coming to my party that night, because let me tell you something, we sure had a good old time, and it was a beautiful thing. I appreciate you, Red Alert. Anything else you want to say before I sign off, brother?
What are you saying about, you mentioned that, when I shout out, for 4-star, I never forget the time I forgot my man's name. He passed away, but he's the one that was always giving the 2-8 parties.
Yes, Smitty.
Me. So here it is. I say, where I'm going for it, and I'm going to the 2-8 party.
Uh-huh.
By the time I got there and I saw how crazy it was out there, and they say, that's what right. He said, you the one that caused all this. He broke me down. He said, yo, you the one.
Shout out to, let me tell you something. If you weren't there, it was something to see. The Armory party, shout out to Smitty, my mentor. He was the one that helped me along with my man Noel Lita in the 2-8, you know, to be a law enforcement officer and still be a black officer. That's another story. That's a book that's coming for you guys, you know, but let me tell you something. That's when the Harlem community was tight. And like you said, Red tell you, you know, he mentioned that. That was more people. I mean, and back then.
Party go down in history.
Historical parties. I mean, there are certain places in Harlem or the world that we've done. But let me tell you something. In New York City, you can talk about the Tunnel. You can talk about Union Square. You can talk about Roxy's. You can talk about Tavern on the Green. And you can talk about Smitty's 2-8 Christmas party.
That's right.
You can talk about a lot of things. You can talk about the Bronx River. You can talk about a lot of things. There's a certain place iconic that will always go down in history. We can talk about Staten Island. We can talk about Brooklyn. We can talk about a lot of places. We can talk about fun. You know, we can talk about Harlem World. Shout out to Harlem. You and Dougie have definitely kept Harlem on the snap. Some other rappers that have come out to Harlem too. But you know, that's one thing too. And I want to let you go. But just think about this. Hip hop started kind of in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's here. And you guys have all made a lucrative career. You all become businessmen. And that is a beautiful thing. And I know, shout out to our mothers and our fathers and everybody that's looking down upon us, that's given so much respect and watched us still be here and still do this. You know, what's so funny? This is Real Talk Chronicles. That is the coolest legend, cool DJ Red Alert. I appreciate you. I love you. Shout out to Alert. You know, Red, hang on for 1 second after we get off this line. But everybody, YouTube, Real Talk Chronicles, on behalf of my other half, Malika Vaughn, on behalf, Foster, dang, on behalf of his other half, Sandra, my sister. Listen, the Violators, Red Alert, Native Tongues, just the music industry, the radio nation. You know what? 98.7 KISS FM, Hot 97, WBLS. What else, Red? Tell them where they can find you. Where can they listen to you right now?
Okay. Also, I was on Power 105.2, and I used to do Sirius Satellite. And I also did radio down in Atlanta. I did Grown Folks Radio 102.5 and Magic 107.5, 97.5. And also I did a radio station down in St. Martin's too.
All right.
Yeah, I was trying to take advantage. Everybody that want to come across on social media, at Cool DJ Red Alert, at Cool DJ Red Alert, at Cool DJ Red Alert. All that is cool with a K.
Cool with a K. That is it. And back to the old school, the Prop Master, that's gone.
Yeah, I have a shirt line called Prop Master Retro.
There you go. See, there's so much. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cool G Mims. He's doing his thing. That's Red's son. You know, shout out to my nephew Rob. All of them, man. Let me tell you something. Red on IG. What's your handle on IG?
Cool DJ Red, cool with a K.
All right. I just wanted to say it again. I'm just killing. Let me tell you something. I'm a promoter.
That's what I say 3 times.
That's it. That's what I say. I'm a promoter.
For Facebook, for Twitter, and for Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Cool DJ Red Alert. I am Bill Forster, Real Talk Chronicles. Thank you. Appreciate you. Listen, we're going to get some legends. Reggie and Red, Hollywood, chime in. See you later. Real Talk Chronicles.
All right.
So we're off.